Coming to you live from Skull Island, it's Is It Kino? With a very special Kino guest, a man born to review Kino. That's right, the Kino Corner!
Hey there.
Florian, have you visited the Kino Corner before? Have you ever been locked up in the Kino Corner? Your mom said, Florian, no more jumping on the bed. Go stand in the Kino Corner and think about what you've done.
Wait, is this podcast not called the Kino Corner? I'm confused.
Not anymore. It was a copyright strike takedown. That's why he's actually here today. Not to discuss the film, but to discuss the terms of our cease and desist.
Yeah, so Mumkey's been going by, Is It Kino? And actually, I have a little bit of an issue with that. On one of my thumbnails, I actually put "Is It Kino?" just as a jab to Monkey.
Big mistake.
I wanted him to send me a cease and desist. I wanted him to see it and seethe.
Well, who had it first? How long have you been the Kino Corner online? Maybe I stole it from you.
Look, that doesn't matter.
Oh,
that doesn't matter.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's a newborn YouTube channel.
That's an admission of guilt.
Half a year ago.
That doesn't matter. Yep. Okay, this is it's like Godzilla versus Kong, right? This is Kino versus Kino today. That's why I'm here. We're gonna duke it out.
The last Kino standing. 2 Kinos enter, 1 Kino leaves at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, or if it's like, Godzilla versus Kong, something incredibly predictable happens in the third act, and then I guess we're both good.
Oh, God, I would say don't go into spoilers, but I knew the spoilers as soon as I saw the fucking trailer. As soon as I heard the title of the movie, I knew how this bullshit was gonna end. Is anybody surprised? Do we even need to acknowledge what happens in the film? I think everybody at home can imagine the movie in their head.
Yeah. There's no way you could have seen all this nonsense coming. How?
Okay,
no,
it was the most generic plot of any film I've ever seen in my entire life.
Look, months ago, I said to my friends, I said, you know how this is going to end? And I had only seen the poster. I don't even think I saw the full trailer. I just sort of knew that the movie was coming out, and I just made basically a retarded guess, and I said, I bet that Kong and Godzilla are gonna fight each other, and then they're gonna team up to fight Mechagodzilla, and that was my retarded guess months ago.
I mean, it's not that retarded. If you've seen any other movie, that would be a pretty good guess.
Yeah, and that's exact. And when I was watching the movie and I saw Mechagodzilla come out, I was like, "Oh fuck no!" Please tell me.
I was like, "Hold on a second." So Kong is going to defeat Godzilla and then have to fight Mechagodzilla, right? Surely that's the direction they're going.
Yeah.
There's no other reason why they'd introduce a third party in this versus movie.
I mean, if you think about it from like a business perspective, Godzilla sells well, Kong sells well. They're not going to kill off one of these cash cows. So going into it, I was like, okay, it would be really epic if they did kill off one of them, and it's like, wow, like studios wouldn't do this nowadays. But the fact is that studios wouldn't do this nowadays.
Hey, at least Zack Snyder had the balls to kill off Superman for approximately 20% of a movie. At least he was dead at the end of it.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Florian, let's hear your thoughts.
Doing this.
Florian, did you think this movie was Kino?
I thought it was alright, but I can't believe you guys are just here and acting, it was all so predictable. Well, yes, of course they're gonna have all this crazy shit happen. I totally saw it coming. Really? You really knew that Mechagodzilla was gonna show up? How?
Yeah, I did. Because I know the Godzilla lore.
They've not done anything like this in this universe yet. Okay, fine.
This universe has been Godzilla fighting all the other monsters. So, the first one, I don't know, he fought some... The first one was boring, and how he beat that monster, and that one is he literally just burped in his mouth. And then the second one was he was fighting Ghidorah. He was fighting with Mothra against Ghidorah and Rodan. And so I knew that with this emphasis on the sort of the human characters, Kong and Godzilla fighting each other, they're probably gonna introduce the human element to fighting both of them. And that's why I made the guess it was going to be Mechagodzilla.
Well, there's your problem, you weird nerds. Of course you know all the monster names. God, I just looked at them and they're like indistinguishable blobs. And so I was really surprised there was a robotic one. And then
you didn't play the
Inside
Xbox?
Earth.
Wait, you didn't play the game Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee as a kid?
No, is that a real thing?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
a real game. That was fun as shit.
Is it better or worse than The Binding of Isaac?
Let me just say it's better than Shrek Super Slam.
Oh,
so
shit.
You can, so you can.
damn.
You
It's
can come to
funny
your
because
conclusion.
Florian also worked on that game.
No, yeah, I made all games, actually.
Florian came up with Shrek.
I also made that Godzilla game. I just forgot about it, just slipped my mind.
Yeah, you're the one who invented Mecha Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. Well, I specifically like him in Gex, Gex Enter the Gecko. That's the best one. Best rendition of Mecha
Wait, so
Godzilla,
Florian, are you saying
honestly.
this movie was like really great and good because you didn't know there would be a robotic dinosaur, or like what else do you like about the movie?
I don't know. I think this movie's probably a 6 out of 10.
No.
I'm just surprised.
I was
that they
leaning
had
more
so
towards
much
like a
crazy
5,
shit.
so I guess we're kind of on the same page.
I was
Oh yeah,
leaning more
what do
towards
you
a
got,
4.
Kino? A 4? Wow.
I rated it 4 out of 10.
Contrarios.
Oh, so average score of 5. I once again am the voice of the people.
Wow. No, I'm
It
pretty
was-
sure the voice of the people would be 7 out of 10. Let's look it up on IMDb, huh? What did we say?
Probably like a 4.
It was just
No
very
way.
well. Okay, IMDb. You can't look it up on IMDb because IMDb
Oh, yeah, we
gets
don't-
skewed to pretty much like 6 to 7s for like every film.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. That's it. Perfect movie.
Which means average, which means it's probably about a 5 or less. But you can't trust IMDb scores.
Yeah, we don't want to hear what the people have to say. Who knows? Who cares what they think with their average ratings? Now we have greater ambitions in the Kino Corner. What do the shitty critics on Rotten Tomatoes say? Huh? You tell me.
I don't know. I don't read film criticism.
Oh damn.
Should we just go through the movie beat by beat, and as we arrive to each scene chronologically, we can just jump in and say what we had to, our thoughts on it?
Yeah. I'm going to have a lot to say about the stuff at the very beginning.
Oh, yeah, because there's an
'Cause I
early
live in-
Godzilla attack
Yeah.
that evidently takes place in the city where you
my
live.
town.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. In Pensacola, where I live, there's that's where the first Godzilla attack is. And it's so obvious that they didn't shoot it here because the only image in the film that looks like Pensacola is when they're doing like the news stuff and they show like an aerial image of Pensacola and they got the shapes right. I can see Pensacola Pier, so they got that shape right, but everything actually in the town is so wrong on just like I mean, I know I'm nitpicking because I live here, but they have like the skyline of Pensacola in one shot it looks like we're like a big city with skyscrapers. We get hit by hurricanes literally every year. We don't build skyscrapers. That just doesn't, that just doesn't happen.
It's not one of those famous Florida skyscrapers on the coast.
Yeah. There's no skyscrapers pretty much in Florida unless, I don't know, you're in Tampa or Miami. But, all the other cities, Pensacola looks a lot like Gainesville.
Yeah, Gainesville's pretty much Gainesville and Orlando are the only two parts of Florida I dare enter. I'm surprised you've survived in Pensacola for so long with these Godzilla attacks all the time.
Yeah, well, I've survived the Godzilla attack and I've survived Rusty Cage's house, so I don't know which one.
Which
is more
was more
dangerous.
intense?
Yeah, but no, so they show skyscrapers and stuff, and it's so obvious when they're shooting that what's supposed to be inside Pensacola that it's another city that they're kind of dressing up to semi look like Pensacola, which I know that for most people not a big deal. If I didn't live here, I wouldn't have even noticed. But the other thing that I thought was just funny was that there's supposed to be this big what was it, Apex? That was the big corporation, right? That was doing all this stuff. And they have a sub-level 33. And now, if you've been to Florida...
No, that was in Tokyo, I think.
If you've been to Florida, it's sand and water. There's no way you're making a sub-level 33
Yeah, the whole
anywhere.
state is built on a swamp. I highly doubt you can go 33 levels down for your basement.
Didn't they go to Tokyo to go to that sub-level?
No,
they go to the
originally
ruins
Florida.
after Godzilla destroys Apex, and then they take the elevator down, and then they go into the Hyperloop tunnel that takes them all the way to Japan, I guess, or wherever the fuck, Hong Kong? One of those.
Hong Kong, yeah.
Huh,
Which
alright.
obviously, does not make me think of pandering to China.
Well, Hong Kong is not part of China, so I don't know where you're coming from on that one. Clearly two separate entities.
You're thinking of Taiwan.
Uh-oh. And I'm really glad that coronavirus really stopped all those Hong Kong protesters from going outside, because I was getting sick of hearing them and their plight. Thank God that virus that was built in a lab accidentally leaked out at the peak of Hong Kong protesting.
Is this a pro Xi Jinping, pro CCP podcast?
Well, I was told if you're not allowed to say anything negative about Asian people anymore, so I think the Chinese government is in the clear for anything they might have been doing.
Yeah.
Are we just saying the most offensive things possible?
What's offensive about facts? Name one thing the Chinese government has done wrong in the last, 200 years. Go.
No, I can't think of one,
Yeah. And if you do, we have to hashtag stop Asian hate. You're not allowed to criticize Chinese people.
I'm thinking of jumping in the direction in front of me, like in a long ways. Maybe you would call it like a great leap forward.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My question is, with the Asian hate, if you're Chinese, is it considered Asian hate if you bring up Unit 731?
Florian, answer the man.
What is that even? Jesus.
Look up Unit 731.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Godzilla
I'll be sure to do
attacks
that.
Pensacola, Florida, because he does not like the Apex Corporation. He knows that they're building a Mechagodzilla deep underground, and he wants to stop them in their tracks. Meanwhile, King Kong is on Monkey Island, evidently going through the Truman Show. They built a giant dome over him, and he thinks he's really free, but he's in captivity. They're trying to protect him because they know, and I have not seen the other movies, so this might have been explained, it might not have been explained. They know that Godzilla wants to be the alpha monster, and that if Godzilla knows about King Kong, he will come kill King Kong. So they're hiding him inside of a Truman Show dome for his own protection.
Yeah, but the thing with this Truman Show dome is that, at least in the Truman Show, he thinks he's living in reality. In this Truman Show dome, he knows that he's in a dome, and it starts off with him basically making a spear and destroying part of it. And I'm thinking, they have all these trees that he can just completely obliterate the thing with, and he doesn't. Because it looks like he does quite a bit of damage to it at the beginning. But that's also when he meets the deaf girl, who can sign language with him, but she's been there for years and nobody has noticed him sign languaging for the entire time. Where they supposedly have full conversations with each other.
Now, was she not on the previous movies? I don't remember, actually.
I would imagine this is the first time that she's been in one, because Kong Skull Island, I assume, took place years earlier, and this girl looks like she's 5 years old.
Wait, wasn't she in A Quiet Place? I thought she was the deaf girl from A Quiet Place.
I remember that girl being a lot uglier and older.
Maybe I'm just, getting deaf people mixed
Well,
up.
Florian, were you
Is she actually
heartwarmed?
deaf?
Were you heartwarmed by the tale of a young loli befriending a giant monkey? Is this the kind of story that you can get behind?
Seems like a waste of time. What does he want with that tiny thing, with a tiny girl?
You know exactly what he wants with the tiny girl. What do you think Lollicons are into? It's a sickness.
He could do without crushing her.
That's their hope.
Madness. Wow. Oh yeah, he's gonna crush her real good.
I'm not saying this is not completely soaked in degeneracy. I just want to know your opinion on it.
Yeah, I think it was pretty dumb how they just say, "Oh yeah, he saved these people. He's actually really good," and the entire time he's like, "Yeah, I guess they're taking me to this. I guess they're chaining me to the ship. Whatever. I guess I won't break the chains."
Well, have you heard Quentin Tarantino's quote about what the King Kong franchise means?
Well, go ahead.
Okay, you guys talk. I'm gonna go find it. You guys keep going.
So.
Go
Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
Or Quentin Reviews?
No, Quentin Tarantino. I would not take Quentin Reviews' opinion on anything.
So he just shits on the King Kong movies? How could he?
No.
Look,
Wow.
Here's what the King Kong movies mean. It means monkey big, monkey strong, and monkey like big, beautiful, blonde women. He has very good taste in women, by the way.
Okay, here's the quote.
No.
As soon as Florian said, reference King Kong being forced onto the boat in chains, I remembered this quote from Quentin Tarantino. I mean, of course, King Kong is a metaphor for the slave trade. I'm not saying the makers of King Kong meant it to be that way, but that's what the movie they made, whether they meant to make it or not. So, a monkey being taken from his island on a boat by white people in chains to, I guess, do their white people bidding in America. Yeah. That's the story of King Kong. Would you concur with Quentin Tarantino, Florian?
I don't know if that's insightful or offensive.
Both.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a quote. Pretty good.
Look, Quentin Tarantino has literally never said anything incorrect.
No, he's never said anything racist ever in any of his movies.
No, yeah, exactly. So just based on his track record, I'm going to have to say that if I'm a betting man, I would have to say he's correct.
He does have a follow-up quote clarifying he only likes the scenes that show King Kong's feet. But he spelled feet with an A, so I think he enjoys his feats of physicality, like when you can climb the skyscraper. I think that's what he meant.
I love that
real?
Image.
Yeah, that's real.
What the fuck?
I love that image from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that shows him directing, and it's just him with the viewfinder up on that girl's feet. Like, right.
What is this meme? I don't get it. Does he film feet a lot?
Yeah, he has a foot fetish, and there's like leaked photos of him sucking on a woman's toes in his house.
Yeah, I remember that.
But you don't see it in his movies.
Yeah, he shows women's feet in his movies quite a bit.
Oh my god, all the time. Just watch Kill Bill. There's like 10 minutes of just looking at her feet.
Oh god. I'm just thinking of that now. I hated that part. Oh, disgusting.
Or in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when What's-Her-Face goes to watch herself at the movie theater, she takes off her shoes and her feet are dirty. Like the bottom of her soles are covered in filth, and she props them up on the seat in front of her. So disgusting.
Look, that's another fetish. It's not just a foot fetish, but it's a dirty foot fetish.
Yeah, and you're wiping it all over the back of somebody's head at the movie theater.
Yeah, but here's the thing, is that if the feet are clean, then there's nothing to show that, you came in contact with them. But if they're dirty, you can have the streaks of dirt on you and be like, yeah, her feet got that on me.
Do you concur, Florian?
Well, now you've ruined Tarantino movies for me. Great. All right, let's see you continue to ruin King Kong for me, I guess.
Well,
Kino.
That brings us to fight number 1, which I do not want to unload all of my thoughts on it because I do want to save something for the upcoming Monkey Box review. But this is the first encounter between Godzilla and Kong. Of course, King Kong is at a supreme disadvantage because he's been sedated like 88%, and he's just on top of a sea carrier ship. So he's out in the middle of the ocean, not really the ideal locale for a giant monkey to be fighting a lizard that can swim underwater. But they fight, and despite all these disadvantages, Kong kind of goes head-to-head with Godzilla with relative ease.
Yeah, it's a draw at the end of that. They kind of decide not to, to leave it be. That fight kind of reminded me of that episode in Neon Genesis Evangelion where Asuka is like jumping from the battleship to battleship fighting the one Angel. And I think that there were a few Ava references in this movie, but I don't know. That's what I was thinking. And while I was watching it, I was just thinking to myself, I wish I was watching Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Wow, you get more cringe every minute. Oh, man. Jesus Christ. Do you not die just saying stuff like that? What the hell's your problem, man? So anyways, I don't know, I guess the fights between Kong and Godzilla are like mostly actually kind of boring, so I guess it's funny that you see me actually still like the movie, but every time they fight, it's like they're just two animals that are just really, really proud, and they just want to like tussle a little bit, but they don't want to kill each other. At least Godzilla definitely doesn't want to kill Kong, because it could just easily fire its laser. So they're just wasting everyone's time and putting everyone in danger just so they could fight.
Well, so this is very curious, Florian. If the fights in this movie did not entice you, how could you possibly give it a 6? What part of the human scenes were so enthralling to you that you had to give it a good score?
Well, I just really enjoyed the part where they went to Hollow Earth. I enjoyed just like that whole fantasy world that's down there. And then when he gets that axe, that's really cool. I don't know, it's just a lot of
we
cool
can get
stuff
to that.
in this.
So
monkey axe.
Fight number 1 is basically a stalemate. And they take King Kong to Antarctica because there is a tunnel to the center of the Earth. I guess we should explain in the world of the movie, the Earth is slightly hollow, but secretly there's a second mini-Earth inside of the Earth, and this is where all of the monsters come from, which explains, I guess... did they explain this in the other movies? Because I think this is some pretty good world building and lore. Because you would wonder, where the fuck does a Godzilla even come from? Oh, there's a secret monster planet inside of our planet. Okay, I guess he's not like an alien or anything. That makes sense. I did like the sequence of them going to this hollow Earth and all the stuff that happens there.
Yeah, they explained it in the other movies, but really it kind of goes all the way back to the original Godzilla in 1954, like where the Godzillas come from. And they said that there's like giant caverns under the earth where these kinds of creatures exist. And, you know, in the original Godzilla, it was the H-bomb testing that destroyed one of the habitats. So it destroyed one of these giant caverns in like hollow earth, so to speak. And that's why the Godzilla came up and attacked Japan and whatever. But yeah, in the newer Godzilla films, this kind of trilogy of the American Godzilla films, in the previous one, they talked about Hollow Earth and that Antarctica base and whatever, and also I don't know, did you see King of Monsters?
I did not. I saw the Bryan Cranston Godzilla in 2014, and then this is the most recent movie in the franchise that I've seen. I skipped a few.
Yeah, so
I've seen it, but I don't really remember much. I guess I know that they spend a lot of time just looking at these monsters, and in the end they bring in an old man, and he just goes like, Godzilla! And then he knows all of the secrets of
Ken Watanabe, is that who you're talking about? Let them fight.
God, that was so bizarre.
That stereotypical Asian accent that you just did, that sounds a little like Asian hate to me.
Oh yeah, I hate Ken Watanabe so much. When I see that man, I want to punch him in his Asian face.
That movie. Whoa.
But hey, Kino, so you're like an editor? Would you say you're supremely talented at video editing? Because I do have a request.
Okay.
I will, and if you can't do it, I will pay real PayPal dollars to anybody who can do this. The sequence, if somebody can edit this, where Kong falls through the portal that takes you to the core Earth, and it gets all trippy, kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey a bit. If somebody can edit that so that when Kong falls through the portal, it then shows the scene in Interstellar when Matthew McConaughey falls into the Tesseract black hole, and you can edit King Kong's body on top of Matthew McConaughey so he's falling through the bookcase world in Interstellar, I would pay good money for that.
Yeah, that'd be because that scene isn't really that, or that shot really isn't that long. It would just be rotoscoping it in After Effects. That's all you would have to do.
Well, there's $5 PayPal dollars with your name on it if you can bring this vision to life.
I gotta finish up my next video that I'm editing right now.
Okay, Florian, you get on this. I know you spend a lot of time with After Effects.
That sounds like a lot of work. I don't have any idea how that would be done. Oh boy.
It's easy. You just use the rotoscoping tool, and then it's kind of like using the quick select tool in Photoshop. You just kind of go frame by frame. You like just quick selecting. That's it. That's pretty much it.
Frame by frame. How long will that take?
It's like a 5-second thing. It won't take that long. I mean, someone did it for the American Psycho. Him walking into the office.
They had the monkey do it?
Oh, you wish.
King Kong walked into the American Psycho office to compare his business card?
Yeah, he just smashes everything.
Okay, so Florian, you wanted to talk about Hollow Earth, so you discuss King Kong's adventures in the Hollow Earth.
Well, what's to discuss? I mean,
you're the one who said you liked it. You fucking tell me what to discuss.
I guess it's just amazing that there's this whole Hollow Earth with all kinds of crazy, huge dinosaur creatures in there, and they have these huge adventures. But then I guess it's really bizarre how there's just this throne, and then Kong just sits on it.
He's the king of the monsters, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't even make sense. He doesn't even know the other monsters.
You don't know that.
What's he doing?
Before he went into the portal, the little girl told him that his family's down there, and much like most monkey Americans, the thought of having to support his family infuriates Kong, and he runs in there to put an end to this bullshit then and now.
And then he found out that he was king's.
Yeah, he was King Kong.
Yeah.
You think there's gonna be any more Kongs down there? You think there is a family?
But I guess without the father figure, the family did not last very long. I imagine most of his children are in monkey prison by now.
There's gonna be a whole sequel with just Kongs, millions of Kongs. They're gonna take over. Wait, that was already a movie.
Yeah, that was Planet of the Apes.
You could have said so many other movie titles that would have made that so bad. That was Selma.
That was Rodney King.
Florian, this is offensive. Why are you saying these kinds of jokes? You're not even from here, Florian. You, of all people, should not be making these jokes.
Yeah, you're from Australia, aren't you?
Yeah, you're down under, which is where King Kong is right now. He's down under the Earth's mantle and crust. But then so they go into the portal in Antarctica. They walk around in Hollow Earth for a little bit, and now they are evidently directly underneath of Hong Kong. I'm not sure how far they traveled, but I guess a casual stroll in the Hollow Earth leads you all the way across the world. And
yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No,
because they're like, oh, but it's like it's less, I guess, distance to travel, but you still think like it's still a very long way from Florida to China.
No, it's simple. The Hollow Earth spins inside the regular Earth. Jeez.
Well, anyway,
wait, so you're an expert on Hollow Earth.
King Kong declares himself the king of the monsters, and he sits down on the monster throne that is just waiting underneath of Hong Kong. And then he also finds, I guess, a magical axe that has a charging station. And if you put the axe inside of the charging station in the ground, it will get it'll light up and get supercharged. So he's not fucking around. He's ready to kill Godzilla with one blow.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of has like that Thor axe sort of thing going on.
Which, when I hear that there's going to be a King Kong versus Godzilla movie, I do not imagine King Kong utilizing a weapon. It seems kind of cheap that there's a giant King Kong-sized axe just waiting for him. I'm sure that there's a lore behind it, but I just wanted to see... I get that Godzilla's not playing fair with his projectile laser beam weapon bullshit, shooting hyper beams across cityscapes. But King Kong, he's the hero of the movie. I don't think he needs to utilize a weapon. I think he can just use his monkey fist and his monkey brain to win the day.
But see, that's the thing. His monkey brain. Godzilla can't utilize tools, but monkeys can.
That's true. He does have opposable thumbs. He might as well use them.
it's kind of like, I hate to constantly, reference this movie to Godzilla versus Kong, but it's kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey when the monkeys figured out how to use the bones and clubs to like beat the other monkeys at the very beginning. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, Adam Wingard, the director, he also did the Death Note movie, so I expect him to have a deep and rich history of other films, and he's probably making allusions to them with this Kong versus Godzilla movie.
He also did the Blair Witch Project remake.
So he really has an affinity for the history of film, and he wants to show his mastery on screen and how inspired he's been from these other works of art.
So actually, an actor who worked with Adam Wingard went on the Blair Witch Project thing, went on the official podcast, and I remember listening to that back in the day, and he was talking about how Adam Wingard works, and supposedly he's like one of those directors, it's like Fincher, that gets like 50 takes of everything.
And then I'm guessing in this movie he just used the first take, regardless of how many other takes they did.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking when watching this movie, kind of having heard about his style of directing, which is just absurd in my opinion. There's no need to get 50 takes, but
I guess when you're shooting digital, who gives a shit, right? You're not wasting any film at that point.
Well, you're still wasting a lot of hard drive space.
Yeah.
Because you're talking like they shot this on the like the Arri Alexa 65, which is a 65 millimeter sensor. You're talking like terabytes upon terabytes upon terabytes, like hundreds of terabytes that you can just easily burn through with that kind of camera.
Well, when you hear about people who get caught with child porn, it's always like 800 terabytes on their hard drive. Maybe Adam Wingard just wanted 15 terabytes of Millie Bobby Brown footage on his computer.
Yeah, where are the feet shots? The Arri Alexa 65 millimeter feet shots.
There's a feature-length film of just Millie Bobby Brown's feet somewhere on Adam Wingard's computer.
Oh, come on, that's Tarantino. I'm sure he's into something else. Maybe hands? Who knows?
Maybe
armpits. Wasn't that like James Charles's thing? Was like he liked armpits? That was the big thing.
Look, Florian, you're friends with that guy. Armpits. Is he into armpits or not?
I could get into armpits. That sounds like something.
Before we get to the climactic, I guess, almost final battle, I mean, the rest of the movie takes place here in Hong Kong, but we forgot about the Millie Bobby Brown subplot where she becomes friends with a podcaster, which I guess that was music to Florian's ears when he found out that there was a podcaster as a main character in the movie. He thought, maybe one day I could be friends with Millie Bobby Brown and go on a transcontinental adventure.
Before we talk about the podcaster, I want to just make a note that her Kiwi friend there was in that movie, The Hunt for the Wilder People, the fat New Zealander kid.
Yeah.
And I don't know what his name was in this film other than Tapwater, because they do that like kind of cringe thing where he's like,
they have an identical conversation that we've had on the Trash Rats podcast with Reactor.
Really?
Yeah, like word for word, we had the same conversation a week ago on the podcast. But basically, the guy's like a conspiracy theorist, and ultimately he's correct about everything, so take that with a grain of salt. But he says, yeah, you better not drink the tap water. They're putting fluoride in it to keep you docile. And Reactor literally said that on the most recent episode of the podcast.
Fluoride and atrazine.
It makes so much sense. Yeah, they put it in the tap water. They would never dare to put it in bottles. That would be really unethical.
I'm drinking a bottle of water right now. Do I seem docile to you guys? I'm not going to Kong out, am I?
I think it's probably the other kind. It's probably going to make you rage out, yeah.
Oh, good.
Uh-oh.
Is that what they did in Flint?
No, what's gonna happen is it's gonna be like, did you guys ever play Deus Ex Human Revolution?
Nope.
I didn't.
No. Oh, okay. Well, at the end, they basically just like turn like almost like tons of people in the world to turn into these like mindless, destroying, Konging out like zombies that completely destroy everything that the Illuminati doesn't like. It's going to be like that. You're just drinking tiny little nano microchips in your water that are going to let the Illuminati control what you do. So maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but soon.
Well, there's no escaping it. Any liquid will have them, you know. I guess we're all doomed.
The only safe drink is Mountain Dew because the fluoride cannot survive inside the chemicals of Mountain Dew. One day all of Earth's revolutionaries will just be fat neckbeards drinking their Mountain Dew, and it's the only sustenance that you can even consume anymore.
I'm just imagining Mad Max, but they're fighting over big vats of Mountain Dew. You know, like at the beginning of Fury Road when he like lets all the water flow out to the people and all the people are like trying to...
That's your next homework. You have to edit that to make it look like it's Mountain Dew.
Oh, that's simple. That's just changing color.
Yeah, Emperor Lemon could do that one.
Oh yeah, just turn it green. Just turn
Everything
it
is green.
Is there anything interesting about these human subplots? Because all I can remember is that he's a podcaster, and the dad says that podcast is like destroying your mind, and it made me think of every podcast that I ever put up.
Yeah. No, there's really nothing that interesting. Kyle Chandler, her dad, was like one of the main characters in King of the Monsters, the one that came right before this. But he's sort of shoved over to the side, and we don't really see much of him. We don't really see much of like any of the humans. Like they're just kind of there to, I guess, help the plot along, but they're not. There's really no characterization to any of them.
Yeah,
Do we know the mad scientist from the previous movies, or is he new?
I don't know, but I'll say for the lack of human scenes, it's a blessing and a curse, because this movie is, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing that the movie is less than 2 hours long, because it makes it both feel like, oh, at least it's at a good pace and I don't have to be bored all the time. But also, there's so little development that the movie kind of feels like nothing even happened. It's so short that I feel like I didn't even witness a spectacle at all.
Yeah, when it finished, it's funny, when it finished, not many movies do this, honestly, but I felt like, yeah, like you said, nothing even happened. I felt like 2 hours just went by, and I don't really know what happened in those 2 hours. It's like when you sleep, when you just kind of feel like you're blinking, and you like wake up, and you're like, wow, like 2 hours has passed by, but it felt like, you know, it was no time, and there was really no substance to any of that.
Do any of these characters have an actual arc that would be reminiscent of any other film ever made? I think King Kong goes from I want to fight Godzilla to now I can be at peace with Godzilla. That's basically the arc of the film. Does Millie Bobby Brown have a character? She's daughter who listens to a podcast and disobeys her dad. Does she have any characterization beyond that, or is it just her utility to the plot and nothing else?
Yeah, I don't think there was anything else. No, that was just it.
And here's the thing. There could have been something really good with Millie Bobby Brown's character, because in the previous film, she witnessed her mom die. Her mom was like the evil mastermind behind bringing all these other like monsters to Earth that Godzilla had to fight and everything like that. And then Millie Bobby Brown had to rebel against her mom and get Godzilla to fight Ghidorah in Boston. And it's like, why would you pick like a big city for where millions of people are going to be displaced and killed, but whatever. And then her mom ended up, in order to save the world, ended up basically self-sacrificing and dying, and she watched it happen. And so, going into this, I was thinking, well, maybe there's going to be some development about her dealing with that grief, and there could be interesting characterization of how she's dealing with it. But in this movie, she just kind of acts like her mom never existed.
Yeah, I actually remember that now from the other movie. I guess it's amazing that just blew over and she doesn't even care anymore. I guess it's been a few years, huh?
Even if it's been a few years.
I think most young children overcome the death of their parents fairly quickly, Florian. Come on, have a little humanity.
Yeah, Yeah, really, it's very realistic. It's great. How no one learns anything. It's just such a realistic movie. So Kino, you apparently watched all King Kong movies in the world. All Godzilla movies, I mean, right?
No, I haven't.
Right, but you seem to have such in-depth knowledge.
Oh yeah, Mechagodzilla is such a minuscule character. It's so esoteric. Nobody's ever heard of Mechagodzilla before.
Oh, come on, you've heard him. He knows way too many of those details. Like,
this is the only Mechagodzilla movie I've ever seen, and I knew that the character existed.
He knew all the monster names. Come on.
He's probably just seen the movie.
Yeah, because they say it in the movie when you, and I rewatched the newer Godzilla films last week, you know, to kind of refresh my mind before watching Godzilla vs. Kong. Because I figured there's going to be some kind of story overlap. You know, well, I was hoping for.
Yeah, was there anything?
Kind of
do you feel more enriched that you did a rewatch beforehand? Did it add anything to the viewing experience?
Not at all.
What a fucking waste of time.
So,
yeah, it was a waste of time.
So are you saying that this one is like worse than any of the other ones you've seen?
No, I'd say it's on par.
Is it really? The other two that I haven't seen are as generic as this movie? Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh yeah,
they're not
they're
that
hella
good.
generic. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not that good. The one with Bryan Cranston was just really boring. I think I fell asleep in my rewatch.
Yeah, it was really good for 5 minutes, and then Bryan Cranston dies, and it was just so boring. It was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't give two shits about his son. I was like, I don't care about his son. Like, I want to see Walter White, you know, with Godzilla. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
And if his son was at least Walt Jr. trying to stop Godzilla, that would have been something.
That would have been funny.
You could offer him breakfast.
Godzilla, you can't do this.
You killed my dad.
Oh my god.
That would have been epic.
So you've rewatched all of them, even though you thought they were really generic, just for this, huh?
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, I like to do my due diligence. I know that Mumkey told me, because I DM'd you a couple weeks ago, and I was like, hey, should I do any like research? And you're like, well, we don't put any effort into this, so we're not going to ask you to.
I had to be honest with him. If he's going to bring in effort, then he does not belong on this show.
Yeah, he's making us look bad, man. Just can't you just come up with a tangent that we can all enjoy without knowing what the movie's actually about?
Yeah, just do what Florian and I do, and if you don't have anything to say, just say something racist and then giggle about it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, come on, man.
Well, should we get into the Hong Kong fight now that we're there?
Oh yeah. Now that we're there, yeah.
So
I suppose we should.
Godzilla fires his hyper beam all the way to the center of the Earth, destroying the entire crust and mantle and everything, so that there's a direct pathway from the center of the Earth to Hong Kong for King Kong to climb up out of, so that they can fight, and then they fight.
Yeah, and why doesn't Godzilla go to the center of the Earth? Does he want to like kill as many Chinese people as possible?
Yeah, I think that was the plan.
It's the American attack on China. It's just getting King Kong and Godzilla to fight each other in every single Chinese city, just like destroying it. And we're like, well, we're not attacking you. You know, these two monsters, these two kaiju are just sort of going at it, destroying your entire country.
Well, that was where they were building Mechagodzilla, right? Was underneath of Hong Kong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah.
That was so weird. It's like, we've built it here, and then, oh, Godzilla is coming. He knows we're here. And then he just shoots to the center of the Earth and instead starts a fight with Kong instead of Mechagodzilla. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know much about geological science and all of that, but would shooting a hole, like a fiery energy beam hole all the way to the center of the Earth, would that have any big impact globally, or is everybody going to be okay?
It was confusing to me, because normally you dig a hole to China.
Yeah, you don't start there, you fucking giant lizard idiot.
But yeah, no, I would imagine that would have chaotic just repercussions throughout the entire world. But, you know, I'm not an expert on this kind of thing.
Well, Florian, thankfully Florian is here. Florian, what did you think of this climactic battle between Kong and Godzilla, the round two? Were you on the edge of your seat?
Well, so clearly the whole Earth is probably like really big, so he didn't have to burrow down too far. But I mean, like, what the hell? He shoots this giant laser, and then Kong he fights him. Why? Can't you see the superiority of this laser? How can you stand a chance?
Because if he blocks the laser beam with his giant monkey axe, the axe will actually increase in power, which is how they defeat Mechagodzilla at the end. Florian, pay some attention, you fuck!
Yeah, so the axe was made out of a spine from a Godzilla, right? And a bone, I assume. But what was that leather? How is that leather able to withstand all those lasers, huh? That were they tied together? This axe doesn't make any sense, you know? The whole thing is
the rest of the
madness.
movie was logically sound, but the axe is where you draw the line.
Yeah, especially the whole Earth was really good.
And he said the axe is his favorite part. That's why he gave the movie a 6 out of 10.
Wow, and he hates it.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what ladder, what kaiju had to die to give this ladder that they used to tie together this godly bone and this godly spine to create this axe. That's the lore I'm wondering. Okay.
Well, let's dive into the real question of the movie. Everybody comes into Godzilla versus Kong, or whatever this movie is called. Everybody wants to know who's going to win. Obviously, it's a cop-out ending where they fight for a bit and then they team up to fight a bigger, badder villain. But does the movie seem to imply that if the fight just went as normal, Godzilla would have won? Because King Kong basically defeats him, but then Godzilla just gets back up and then knocks him on his ass and then starts fighting Mechagodzilla. So is it safe to say King Kong loses this fight?
Well, yeah, he died. You know, they had to defibrillate him.
Yeah, oh, you know what that means? Wait, I don't know why I didn't realize this until just now. But Kong is a Christ figure because he dies, he comes back to life, and he defeats evil.
Yeah, and he gets by with little help from his friends.
Yeah, so he's Kong, King Kong in the Monsterverse is Jesus.
I've always thought of Jesus Christ as a monkey ever since I found out he was Middle Eastern.
Well, it all makes sense now because he wouldn't have, like Christ, he could have gotten off that cross any time. Like he could have gotten off that boat, but he just chose to take his punishment, you know, and just repent for our sins. I guess Kong really is amazing. Yeah,
so Mechagodzilla is beating the shit out of normal Godzilla, but then Kong comes in, you know, with the assist.
Jesus comes in.
Yeah, Jesus comes in to help out Godzilla. And then they start fighting Mechagodzilla, and then Mechagodzilla's gonna win, but they're like, hey, let's use teamwork. If I blast Hyper Beam at your axe, it'll get super strong, and then King Kong can use the axe to chop Mechagodzilla into 6 fucking pieces, which I would say is the absolute best sequence in the film, is this final showdown between the 3.
Yeah, that was a fun fight.
I was actually sitting alone in my house cheering when King Kong was chopping Mechagodzilla to pieces. I thought that was awesome.
But the whole thing about like how Mechagodzilla became evil was kind of stupid. So it was King Ghidorah from the previous one. They like saved a head. And I guess it was the head of that Titan that was like...
It was like a supercomputer that could be used to control Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, and then the one guy was piloting, as I said, it was like piloting the Eva, where the, Eva kind of takes control, not to get cringe.
Mechagodzilla basically was an Eva in this movie, like down to every detail, really.
Yeah, exactly. He basically was an Eva, where the Eva took control and killed the pilot, and then, and that's why I was like, man, it kind of seems like Adam Wingard wanted to make like an Eva movie, and then got stuck with Godzilla versus Kong, so he just sort of
after they saw the Death Note movie, they said, we're not letting him touch our anime franchise. You fucked up, dude.
Exactly.
You can go do some shitty fucking American movie.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, I'm gonna make it as close to Ava as I can, while still being a King Kong movie. But
now, Florian actually told me he thought that Mechagodzilla went evil because the pilot was an Asian man, so his natural Asian evil overtook the machine.
That can't be right. Asians are not evil in any way. How could you say such
you're
things?
right. They've never done anything wrong ever.
What happened was that pilot actually was one of the Hong Kong protesters.
Yeah, the truest evil on this earth. He had to be expunged. America, represented by King Kong and Jesus, had to team up with Japan to defeat the Hong Kong protester. It's all a big metaphor for the current political climate.
You know,
now, what's with this trope where having a Mecha Godzilla is fine, but you need like a supercomputer to control it? What the hell's up with that? Like, any human should be able to control it the way it controls his own body.
Everybody knows that the bigger a machine gets, the more likely it'll have a mind of its own and destroy its creator, Florian. It's called science. The bigger a computer gets, the more self-aware it becomes.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense now that you mention it.
That's why technology is trying to make everything fit onto a smaller and smaller memory card, because we're afraid of what'll happen if we get computers to be too big.
Wow, you know, I never knew this. Is so brilliant. Damn.
Yeah, you should do some research once in a while.
But the real problem is going to be Bitcoin.
Oh.
Bitcoin's going to be so big, it's going to take so much processing power, it's definitely going to be self-aware and destroy us.
I'll have you know, I bought an NFT and it only destroyed 10% of the Amazon rainforest.
Well, what a bargain. Yeah. That's pretty good.
I thought it was worth it to get some shitty piece of fan art.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I made my money I actually bought an NFT, and I made my money by raising the forest down in the Amazon to build sugar plantations. So just kind of doubling up on, you know, my hatred for Mother Earth.
Yeah, fuck the environment. I want my fan art.
Yeah. Yeah. I want my fan hentai art as an NFT.
So they defeat Mechagodzilla, and then it's over. Godzilla walks back into the ocean, and he shares a look with King Kong, and they have a mutual look of respect for each other, and they say, hey, we can both be alphas. As long as we can agree all the humans are betas, the world is big enough for two Chads at the same time. Happy ending, and then it's literally just over. There's nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, Kong goes, and he does this little, like, you know, thumping on his chest in Hollow Earth, but... that's pretty much it. It reminded me, somebody said this to me recently. They said that Godzilla films are just the Japanese version of WWE, or like the kaiju version of it, where it's just like it's like these two monsters come in, and it's all this spectacle and all this show, and it's all fake and whatever, and at the end of the day they kind of go their separate ways, and they might come back. And like in this one, Ghidorah is Mechagodzilla. He was the main villain in the previous one, but now he's also the main villain in this one as Mechagodzilla. It's just like he comes back as Mechagodzilla because they uploaded his consciousness to, you know, this robot.
It's like in Batman v Superman when he put General Zod inside of the Apocalypse Monster. It's basically the same exact fucking movie.
Well, it actually is, and that is great. Now you both have ruined it for me. Okay, great. I guess 0 out of 10. Wow, wrestling comparison and Superman v Batman comparison. Wow, I'm gonna die.
Here's my question. I like
this movie.
I assume, after I learn about the Hollow Earth, I assume when Godzilla goes under the water, he's just returning home to the Hollow Earth. But then we see King Kong is there and Godzilla's not there. So does Godzilla just hang out under the ocean then? Does he not go to the Hollow Earth between his surfacings, or what?
Yeah, he hangs out in like the lower depths. Okay, so now I'm no Godzilla expert, but from what it seems like in these films, he kind of just like swims around in the ocean a lot. That's all. That's just what it seems like. I don't know. Like, he just spends his day swimming around.
Yeah, why doesn't he ever go home? Go to the Hollow Earth and kill some pterodactyls and shit. Have some fun. You've earned it, buddy. You just fought a Mechagodzilla. You need to go on vacation like Spyro.
That was also something about... I wanted to say, this was also another thing about Hollow Earth, is like, Kong gets there, and there's no peace. He's immediately has like these pterodactyl things trying to kill him. I'm like, man, who would want to live here? Everything is trying to kill you down here.
He seemed really pissed and motivated to go there when they told him that his family was down there. We've got to see a sequel where Kong goes up against his family because they're mad that he abandoned them.
Or a sitcom.
Yeah, or that, with the laugh track and everything.
Yeah, Kong just... It'll be a sitcom and like where they're just using sign language, and I don't know how they would do a laugh track in that case.
The deaf girl would have no clue.
Maybe they would have like, when you watch like politicians speak and they have like the person like by the side like doing the sign language or signing, and sometimes they're just completely frauds, just like making stuff up. It would be like that, and I don't know American Sign Language, so whatever the thing for laugh is, whenever Kong says sign something funny, I guess. But I think that's the sequel.
Is that what deaf people do instead of actually laughing? Do they just do the sign for laughing? Because I would feel really offended if somebody did that to one of my jokes. I don't know many deaf people, but I would imagine they would laugh like normal. Like, yeah, I don't know if you need to sign for that.
Yeah.
If they go, well, fuck you then. That's basically just saying the words LOL out loud to somebody when they say something funny.
I'm sure the Kongs just pound their chest, and that's the only way they can communicate anything. Well, that's the laugh tracks. It's just pounding.
Florian, what did you think of the post-credit scene when a giant game squid came out of the ocean and said, "Where is Kong?"
What is that? Is that real?
Yeah, he was a game squid, and he kept playing Snaky Bus when he was supposed to be coding.
I thought the game squids went extinct when Kong fought that giant squid on Skull Island in that other movie.
No, they're not going to quit until they get the world's supply of corn pizza, and now King Kong has to stop him, because heaven forbid humans lose their corn pizza, huh, Florian?
Well, we all know that Kong couldn't defeat more than one squid at a time.
Oh, I bet he could. I bet he would kick Game Squid's fucking ass.
Come on, he's got an axe. What's that gonna do?
Chop off the tentacles, dude.
It's too many tentacles.
He's already got a loli. Now he's gonna get some tentacles. He was in Hong Kong.
Wow.
King Kong's living the dream.
Look,
Brilliant.
If Geralt can defeat a giant squid that comes on the land, I think King Kong stands a chance.
Yeah, especially this version of King Kong that would not even need to climb the Chrysler Building because he is as tall as every skyscraper.
Yeah, he's like he's like 10 times bigger than any other iteration of Kong.
Yeah, I think his fingernail was larger than any human.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like this one scene where he was on a skyscraper for just a moment? But
in this
is
one?
that even possible? Yeah.
It shouldn't be possible. He's got to weigh at least 100 tons.
Well, it happened, okay?
Like, no building could sustain his weight.
And you got to think too, how does he like keep up the calories, to maintain his size?
Do they not explain that in the Skull Island movie? What he eats?
No,
Does he just eat dinosaur?
They don't explain his diet and his physiognomy. I'm gonna say it. His
physiology.
They don't. Yeah.
Physicality.
They don't explain that. Yeah, they don't explain his nutritional needs.
Well,
these
all
are
the
things
monsters have that.
These are things I want to get out of a movie.
They're probably saving those for the sequel. They know everybody's waiting to get these answers.
The only one that could survive is Godzilla because he feeds on radiation, but anyone else would starve, so I guess they're just magic.
That's Godzilla makes sense because he just eats atomic bombs and radiation and stuff, and I guess if you go into Hollow Earth, there's probably a lot more radiation down there, right? Because you're closer to the core and whatever. So you'd feed on radiation. Okay, I can buy that. But Kong, he's a monkey. I mean, bananas don't get that big,
No.
Well, my question is, how would you even navigate in the Hollow Earth, considering a compass would just be going crazy down there? You'd have no idea which way is north.
Look, Kong obviously knew where he was going because it's built into his DNA.
He didn't even have a compass. I couldn't believe it. I said, this movie is so unrealistic that King Kong can navigate these corridors without knowing which way he's going.
Did
But he's
they
like
also
a
bring up
homing pigeon.
Did they also
homing
bring
King
up
Kong.
in this film? Did they also bring up the whole thing of like genetic memory? Was that?
Yeah, they
brought up in
did.
this? Yeah,
They said it's like homing pigeons. And that makes sense because pigeons have evolved to live in this one place.
Hey,
and
that
then they
should
home
make
back
sense.
to it.
How else do you think cats know that they're supposed to shit in a box? I didn't teach them that. I just set up the litter box and the cats knew what to do.
Wow.
it just feels like the people who made this film they watched it, or they did a couple things before writing it. They watched the movie Nazis at the Center of the Earth.
Florin, I think your grandpa was in that movie, right? He was typecasted.
Wait, is that the name of the movie?
Yeah, look it up. It's a real movie.
I swear I've seen a movie like that, but it wasn't that
Yeah,
movie.
your grandpappy was showing you his greatest achievement.
It was Iron Sky too. That was what I'm thinking. Wait, there's another one? Wow, I need to see that.
Yeah, Nazis at the Center of the Earth.
Florian
came out
has
in
to consume
2012.
all Nazi propaganda movies.
It's
hardly
critically acclaimed.
propaganda.
It's critically acclaimed with a 3.1 on IMDb.
But does
people-
does Hitler ride on a T-Rex though? Because
I'll
that's why
read
you
you the
can
synopsis
see.
here.
You can see that in Iron Sky, but does he ride a T-Rex in this one?
I
ahead.
am not sure. Here is the synopsis. They say researchers in Antarctica, again, where do they access the center of the Earth in Godzilla vs. Kong? Antarctica.
Of course, where else?
Are abducted by a team of masked stormtroopers. They are dragged deep underground to a hidden continent in the center of the Earth. Here, Nazi survivors, their bodies, okay, this doesn't really make much sense, but here, Nazi survivors, their bodies a horrifying patchwork of decaying and regenerated flesh, are planning for the revival of the Third Reich.
And you think Adam Wingard was inspired by this movie?
So he watched this film, he watched the end of Evangelion, and then he played Assassin's Creed. So he got you got the Hollow Earth, you got the genetic memory, and you got the kaiju mecha fighting.
And he also watched the most recent Monkey Box episode where a King Kong ripoff goes to Hong Kong. And he's like, oh, well, it has to be at Hong Kong.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
else?
And then the studio said you got to pander to China, so have like some location in China. Because Chinese audiences pay more money than American audiences.
And evidently that was a very successful strategy because they did release this movie in China and it's doing fucking box office bonkers over there from what I've seen. Chinese people fucking love this generic shit.
They do. They love the generic spectacle shit. I mean, like, you see the movies that do well in China and there's like no way the people in the West would really be that interested in it.
Well, I mean, they Avatar and all that shit. The only thing that Chinese people don't like seems to be Star Wars, but only the ones that have black people in leading roles.
Well, you want to know the funny thing about the original Star Wars films is that they were banned in China for a long time because in China it's illegal to release a movie that has ghosts in it.
Uh-oh.
And so the whole
has so many ghosts.
So the whole Force Ghost thing caused Star Wars to not be released, but they were able to sort of, I guess, sweet talk the CCP and explain to them that they're actually, it's projections. I don't know, some other word other than ghost. But yeah, that's also why Ghostbusters 2016 flopped, is because they couldn't have a Chinese release.
Wait, are you telling me Casey Affleck's a Ghost Story was not successful in China?
No, it wasn't.
Damn.
But it's still a good movie.
I assume they would love that 10-minute pie scene when she's sitting on the floor eating a whole pie. I thought the Chinese box office would go bonkers over that shit.
I remade that scene for my video on the Ghost Story.
With a pie?
With a pie, I made my friend eat a whole pie for the camera.
Oh, you didn't even do it? You have your own personal bigs who you can torture and make them do dumb shit?
Pretty much.
Oh, that's good.
Look, you don't become a YouTuber without having at least one or two people that you torture for your own personal gain.
Yeah, you need your Rich Evans of the group.
Yeah, exactly. I consider myself the Mike Stacklasa of the Kino Corner.
Yeah, it's true. You're gonna have at least someone, like maybe an editor who you could torture and just make him do all the menial tasks. That's definitely the way to be a good YouTuber, yeah.
Well, right now, I'm making my video I'm coming out with Sunday or Monday is on a movie called Sallow or 120 Days of Sodom.
Oh, my grandma loves that movie.
It's a good movie. I know you're fucking with me.
But Easter Sunday is coming up, and I think we're all going to sit down by the fireplace, the whole family, and watch that movie. I think it's a great tradition in my family.
Florian,
is this a real movie? Go ahead.
It is. Look it up. Look it up.
Is that your recommendation? Because we're at the end of the show. We have to do final judgments and recommendations very briefly.
Okay.
But Florian, what were you going to say?
You gotta be very careful because I watch every recommendation I get.
Have you seen A Ghost Story, Florian?
No.
Because that'll be my recommendation for the episode. But let's tie up the King Kong versus Godzilla. Florian, would you say this movie is Kino, and who would you recommend it to?
Yes, and who wouldn't enjoy like this beautiful monster fight? Come on, it starts right off the bat. They got the monsters right from the start. There's like no mystery or anything. It's just like the monsters are right there, and then occasionally they fight, and then they discover strange worlds. It's great. Everyone should watch it.
Kino, I'll let you go next. Yeah, I don't think it's Kino. Overall, I thought that some of the monster fights were kind of boring. The last monster fight was cool, but it was a cop-out ending. I went in there wanting to see, who would win and really pit them up against each other. And my cynical self said, Mechagodzilla is going to come in and they're going to fight him and team up. And I was true. I was right, unfortunately. So I wasn't happy about that. And all the human characters are like less than flat. You don't even know what any of their names are, and you really couldn't care anything about them. So yeah, no. So I'd say it's not Kino, but who would I recommend it to? If you bought a month of HBO Max to see Zack Snyder's Justice League, and you want to spend a Friday night watching a dumb action movie, then that's who I would, I'd recommend it to you then. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I would say based on my personal definition of Kino, it does not meet that criteria in any way. I was disappointed by the cop-out. This is not a real versus movie. This is a let's learn to be partners movie, which you might as well call it King Kong and Godzilla team up to fight Mechagodzilla if you want to give us an honest title, because otherwise you're just fishing for a disappointed audience. But then again, this is every movie ever made, so maybe they weren't disappointed because they already knew how it was going to end, walking into the theater, or I guess in this case, downloading HBO Max. I would say since it is on HBO Max, that means there is, on release day, there's an instant torrent of an HD rip of the movie that you can download illegally and watch for free. That's the only way I would recommend viewing it, is if you get to see it for free. Under no circumstance should you waste money seeing this. I've seen a lot of critics say, "Oh, I'm so glad I saw this in the theater. I was so hype." And I did see it on my home theater. Maybe the spectacle would have been better on a big screen, but I highly fucking doubt it. There was nothing all that special in the movie. But for being less than 2 hours long, I was not really bored at any point. I just felt like I'd already seen it all before.
Yeah, man, you damn dirty ape! How dare you just advocate piracy? If I had seen this movie in the cinema, it probably would have been an 8 out of 10.
Florian, how did you see the movie? Since you don't have HBO Max in Austria, how did you see this movie?
I definitely have HBO Max. How could
do you really?
How could you accuse me of such heinous acts?
Okay.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So nobody should pirate The Binding of Isaac, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, please don't pirate.
So we're going to give our movie recommendations.
Well, it sounds like you already recommended 120 Days of Sodom.
No, I actually have a recommendation specifically for Florian.
Whoa.
So it's a movie that takes place in Vienna, and it's by the director Michael Haneke. It's called The Piano Teacher. It's in French and Austrian. Or German. I don't... whatever.
How could I watch a French movie? That doesn't make any sense.
It's by an Austrian director.
How many scenes are there of a woman smoking a cigarette next to a grocery bag with a baguette sticking out?
Are there at least Nazis in it? I don't usually watch any German stuff that doesn't have Nazis in it.
It's about a femcel who, let me just say, it's about a femcel. It's the ultimate femcel movie. Basically,
so it's purely a movie from somebody's imagination, because we all know femcells do not exist. It's the most fantastical film you'll ever see.
You're not selling me on this movie.
I don't want to give too much of it away, but it's about a femcel who enters into a sadomasochistic relationship with one of her students.
Yeah,
okay, well,
exactly.
Sold,
exactly. Of course, she's not a femcel. She gets in a relationship immediately in the movie. Why am I not surprised? Even the author could not imagine a world where a woman could not get laid.
We all know this to be true. They get laid eventually.
Florian, I think Florian should pen a script and direct a film about a true femcel. And he could just base it like a female version of him who does not have the money to afford a company. Florian, would you watch a movie about a female version of you sitting at home watching streams all day, watching shitty movies, watching the Hobbit trilogy extended edition, and saying, this is the best movie I've ever seen?
Yeah, sounds like a dream come true. Why?
Eating corn pizza. You should make this movie. The True Femcel, featuring Floriana herself.
I'm not an incel, how dare you? Wow.
Well, this is the female version of you.
Well, then I'd be even more sexy. I would be... I would get all of the bisexual sex in the world, okay? I would be tearing it up.
Well, Kino Corner, where can people find you online, and what are they going to find when they go there?
I mean, you can find me just about anywhere online. Usually, you'll see me shitposting on Twitter.
Yeah, check the replies to any of my tweets if you want to find Kino Corner online.
Yeah, you can find me shitposting on Twitter a lot, but I have a YouTube channel called The Kino Corner. And so I guess you can find me there. Don't find me on Discord. Don't bother me on Discord.
And what kind of videos can they find on your channel? Is it all movie stuff?
Yeah, it's all movie stuff. It's video essay type of it's movie analyses, so it's not so much film review. It's more like me talking about films that I really like, and kind of giving like a backstory and like how the movies were made. There's a lot of filmmaking advice and stuff, because I'm a filmmaker and I'm actually coming out with a feature film this later this month.
The femcel movie? You're making that?
Yeah, no, that's gonna be my next movie. That's gonna be my sophomore film.
Oh shit!
It's gonna be about femcels. Yeah,
it's gonna be dog shit sophomore slump movie like Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, the worst sophomore slump movie. But yeah, so in my videos I kind of talk about how movies were made, like maybe some cool stuff, about the history of them, and kind of using that to, not be a complete well, let me just say I'm not a big fan of a lot of film YouTubers and how they talk about movies, and they just tend to sound like people on Letterboxd just soy jacking to A24 films.
Yeah, so. Only Is It Kino and the Monkey Box will you find true film review on YouTube.
Yeah, but you can also find me on Emp Lemon's channel.
Doing what?
I was in his review of The Thing.
Oh shit, that's the one Emp Lemon video I skipped because I didn't want to get spoilers for that movie I probably will not watch anytime soon.
Yeah, and actually for that, because Emp Lemon doesn't know how to burn Blu-rays or DVDs, I had to do all the Blu-ray and DVD burning. He actually mailed me season 8 of The Simpsons and was like, "Hey Peter, can you burn this DVD?" And I'm like, "You don't know how to do this yourself?" And he goes, "No."
Wait, so he needed you to do that so you would send it back so he could use the footage, or what?
Yeah,
He can't just download the season off the internet?
Oh my god, this is so convoluted.
Obviously not. He bought it from online from like a thrift store in Phoenix.
Oh my god.
Had it shipped to my house, and then mailed me back my like USB drive. And then it was like, can you like burn the DVDs onto the USB drive and then mail it to me? So that's what
Amp, I will give you the password to Biggs's Disney Plus account. You can stream The Simpsons and just open OBS and screen record your fucking computer if you need footage. You don't need to buy the official release and send it to Kino's house.
Well, those are some serious allegations, Kino. Are you saying that Amp Lemon is really that technically incapable?
Yeah, he is Asian too. You would expect him to know more.
And he uses The Simpsons all the time, and he's done this all the time where he's used The Simpsons. What the hell?
You can download the clips from YouTube, Amp. What the fuck are you doing?
How did he get the steamed hams? It must have taken forever.
I can tell you what it is. It's his vegan diet.
He's running on a one-fist brain over there.
Yeah, it shriveled up. Oh man!
If anyone remembers Mumkey's video about how humans evolved because we ate meat, that's what happened with Emp. He's in a state of degradation because he's on his vegan diet. He's returning to monkey. Yeah, he's returning to monk, but not the good kind. Well, Florian,
we need a Godzilla to straighten him out.
Florian, I wanted to plug your channel, but you still have not posted the top 10 Kinos of 2020. Everybody's been waiting for it. Where the fuck is this video?
And I've been so lazy at making videos, even at streaming. What the hell am I gonna do? I'm gonna start being like you. What the fuck?
No, you even have an editor. You have no excuse. At least I don't like editing my own videos, and that's why I procrastinate. You could just record yourself talking for 20 minutes and send it to this fucking schmoke, and he'll do it for you. What's your excuse?
I've got some kind of perfectionism now where I can't do it anymore. Now I need to write a script and read it.
You get 300 views a video. Who fucking cares? Just post it.
Wow, amazing.
The fewer people watching, the less you have to give a shit about the quality of the video. And your videos are already higher quality than mine, so who gives a shit?
Well, they hardly are. I'm pretty bad at delivering.
But you have a real editor, and I'm basically making a PowerPoint presentation with voiceover. So at least you have some sort of style going on with your channel. I don't know. When are you going to make this? I need to know what the top 10 Kinos are, because I feel like 2020 did not have very many good movies.
No.
It'll
take me a little longer because I gotta make a few more Isaac videos. Oh yeah, Kino, wow. We better go to the Kino Corner so we can hear all your snobbish opinions on how all the mainstream movies are just horrible and how there was not a single good movie in 2020. Yeah.
Look, if I was snobbish, I wouldn't be on this podcast.
Oh, but we're the highest of snobs over here. Florian thinks that if you don't like the Hobbit movies, then you're a troglodyte.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like the Hobbit movies.
Ah! See how snobbish, oh my god. You got a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, okay? The people have spoken. It's probably 7 out of 10 even.
I doubt you guys.
Oh, for sure.
You think the Hobbit movies have a 7 out of 10 on IMDb? I don't think the American public can be that stupid.
Okay, I'm looking
Look it up. If it's below 7, you owe me a fucking corn pizza.
Oh yeah, 7.4.
Are you kidding me? Fuck IMDb. What horseshit?
Popularity is rising. It's a great up and coming movie. You
oh my
you just
god!
Don't get it, okay? And that's the worst one. It's the Battle of the Five Armies.
The Battle of the Five Armies has a 7.4.
Yeah, you're the only one who doesn't get it, okay? It's a brilliant movie.
That was genuinely the worst movie theater experience I've ever had, because I got probably 3 hours of sleep the night before, so I was in that mode where I'm desperately trying not to fall asleep while sitting up at a movie theater. But the movie is so anti-engaging that it's basically begging me to fall asleep. It was torture sitting there for 3 hours watching that dog shit film.
Oh, it's so boring. It's so boring.
I should watch the extended cut. Come on. Well, you can't be serious. You watched the Snyder cut and enjoyed it. Oh yeah,
the Snyder cut was so a lot more engaging than Battle of the Five Armies.
Hardly.
Yeah.
Jesus. Have you
was a
seen the
lot more
Mahler
engaging.
video?
No, I'm not. Wait, Mahler made an actual video about the Snyder Cut?
Yeah, and apparently all of the cringe that you didn't like in the Justice League, it's all from Zack Snyder. He just passed it off. It's like, oh, no, I disavow this. Some jokes in
That's
Justice
not
League.
true.
No.
The cringy jokes from Justice League were like the Flash falling on Wonder Woman's tits, and that was completely a Joss Whedon rewrite. That was not in the Snyder Cut.
Well, that one, sure, but all the dialogue that was cringy is definitely been there before. He didn't add that much dialogue, and he just removed it once he finally got to make his own version because he saw that the dialogue wasn't popular.
Look,
it's terrible.
I gotta just level with you. I gotta level with you here. Considering how long Mahler's videos are, I'd rather just watch another movie than sit down and listen to somebody talk for 2 hours or whatever about a movie I've already seen and I've already made my mind up about.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a great way of never learning anything. Good job.
I mean, I have not watched Mahler's video on it yet because I just found out he made one. But this might be a lie. I did read on a thread on 4chan that Mahler said the original version of Justice League was better than the Snyder Cut. And if that's his genuine opinion, then I maybe just out of respect for Mahler, I should not watch this video because I don't want to lose any faith I had in him if that is confirmed to be true.
Oh, you gotta watch it. It's a great video.
Okay.
I don't watch anything film related on YouTube.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep myself out of that. So.
Okay, bye everybody.
See ya.
Yeah, don't watch me. Don't watch any of this.
Yeah.